G'day everyone, welcome to the Opal Mills. Today's episode, I'm going to select pre-selected a piece out of this pile, a little bit of crystal, and I'm going to cut this, but I'm going to cut it the way I used to before I bought my new machine. The way I've been cutting pretty much most of the time, and a few hints on what you need to do if you're going to attempt it. I'm not advocating we do it, but it'll be dry for the most part. It's going to be wet but dry. I'm going to show you the machine I used to cut on, and then we're going to cut a stone on it, and I'm going to show you how I get from that to a finished stone when my machine is only really going to give it the rough finish and all the rest is going to be hand sanded. So this is how I used to cut. Alright, so in all of its glory, there's my machine. I think that cost me like 25 Australian dollars when I first bought it. Would have been 15 years ago, and if not longer. But they're not that much expensive now anyway, probably under $100 for just a cheap one, which is all you need. And again, I don't recommend this with today's progress. This doesn't quite use water on the wheel, even though you're going to use water. I still will be using a dust mask. There's no two ways about that. For starters, when this dries out, it will want to kick dust up. It's not going to stay wet, and most of it builds up on there, but as soon as the wheel's blowing and dust gets up, and you just avoid it. So this is a 80 grit, by the way. It's not going to stay 80 grit. I'm going to wear the heck out of it. Basically get some potch, run it in, but I don't want to run it in too hard. Need some cutting power on it, but it's a bit too rough. I've done this for years. Again, gonna need dust mask. And again, I do use water for the cut and make sure the machine stays mostly clean, blow it down. So anyway, I'm gonna get to it. I've already pre-dopped this stone. Right, come on, focus. The stone, and just going to take that corner off, see what little shape under the stick will come of this, and I'll do it on here, and then I'm going to hand sand it. Now I have gone and bought a bunch of 800 and 1000 grit pads that were literally bought about the same time that this came. So I never actually really ended up using them. So I'm just going to be nostalgic about this and use the cork block. I won't be using those pads as much as I'm probably hanging to try them out as well. I don't really have time to do it like that way, so I'm not going to set up to do it, pull the pads out. So I'll just do it this way. Got the one pad, and yeah, here we go. Let's get the camera set up. Okay, first things first, dust mask on. So I won't be able to talk too much. Come on, there we go. I think you can probably still understand me mostly. So this machine will get noisy, so I'll just cut the sound and put some music on while I do this. Probably speed it up a bit in a while, but I'll get this done. Pretty much ready to be pre-polished. I'm literally dunking it that often. Can't let the stone heat up, it will crack. So it's not just the dust I'm keeping down with the water, I've got to keep the heat controlled. So I just thought I'd cut out and tell you that. Buddy. I don't have to. There you go. Come on. Cutie. I can relocate this fella. Sorry about that. Go look out for the little fella. Start this again. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to get that down on the 400 torque block. Alright, all set up. Pot of water, stone on a stick. 400, 800, 1200 grit. Cork block. Nice little groove. Sort of contours a little bit to the stone rather than a dead flat surface. I get to choose, depends where I use the cork block. Straight on with a 400. I think it's a pretty good job on the stone. A lot of that sand's in the bottom that you can see. There's only that little bit left down here somewhere. The rest of that's going to go on the bottom. So now it's just a case of getting out the marks, which there aren't too many of as such, but just blend the lines, little facet marks. So pretty well done. Doesn't look like 80 grit. So anyway, everything's going to be done as if you're the machine. So I'm going to start by doing the sides. Just keep rolling. Just going to basically moving this while I'm using this as a wheel. The simple logics of it. Try not to knock it off the stick while you're doing it. Alright, I reckon it's ready for the cerium oxide. Let's see what it comes up like. And so I spent $800 on this machine 13, 14 years ago. And yeah, it's served me pretty well, but this is also how I've been finishing them off afterwards with the cerium. It's the only one machine I did have. Swap some plugs around. Switch her on. So that's that side done. I'm just going to be able to tidy up the back. Alright, ready to do the other side. Yep, that's good enough for the back. Now we'll go and do a polish. And there we have it. Off the stick. It's going to be very translucent. Got translucent body toners in. There's no dark base, so this probably would have been better as a doublet maybe, but I just picked a piece. Just want to show you how I used to do it. Let's get this tidied up a bit. Oh, there we go. So whether the colour's translated well or not, Irregardless, it's still a cut stone. Colour didn't come out as well as I thought it might. Not even sure if a black backing is going to make it come out any better. Just a touch. It did have some reds down the bottom end. I thought it might have stuck around and popped through. They're sort of there. Trapped in there. Oh, nonetheless, there we go. That's how I used to cut opals. I've got that out of my system. There we go, a bit of wax on the bottom, wax on the top. Oh, there's wax all over, I can't stop it. So there we go. I'll leave this video here, and don't attempt that at home. I used the dust mask, if everyone's still wondering if they skipped past some of it. I did wear a dust mask that whole time on that dry wheel, nonetheless keeping the stone wet so it didn't kick up dust, but you just don't want to risk that. Would have been good to pick a better stone than this, but oh, it's a demonstration anyway. How you can cut on the cheap. But yeah, please use water. Again, this is how a lot of people started out before they realised silicosis will kill you. They used to cut it dry, and it's actually the way I got taught how to cut. Not dry, but keeping it wet. But yeah, so that's why I've done that. For those starting out, don't. Anyone that's probably already done it, yeah. I'm not advocating for this, but just for demonstration purposes. So that's my disclaimer. Thanks for watching. Cheers.